Auburn. I grew up in... Oh, we got Auburn in the house. My goodness. Did you guys drive too? That is a long drive. But anyway, drove down from Sacramento. I was born in Auburn, and I grew up in a little town called Colfax. Any Colfax here?
Yeah!
Oh my goodness. Wow, you say Colfax, most people are like, where? So, I am so excited to be here because, all right. My name is Jessie Jane Duff. I'm a retired United States Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant. This is not a talking reception. Just letting you know. This is... I'm not kidding. I served 20 years with young men who always wanted to run their mouth. Don't think I'm not afraid of telling people to be quiet. Young men who are 18, 19, 20 years old. Let me tell you, I do not have a problem calling it out. Every time I stop, I keep hearing the murmuring. All right. I am excited to be here because you know what? It is great to be a conservative. Okay, number two. It is great to be a California Republican. I am not kidding. Why? There are 9 million registered Republicans in this state. That is an incredible number. There is no reason we cannot win. None. We just have to start realizing that we can. I'm right here. Good golly. How much liquor did y'all have yet? I haven't. So, I probably will not stay up here because anybody ever seen me speak before? Yeah. Oh, so you know I don't stand still. Alright, so this is going to be kind of tough for me. So if I start coming down there, don't be surprised. Alright, so to get us all excited to get going, I'm going to have you call cadence. Those who've done this before know exactly what I'm talking about. So first, let me ask, how many Army veterans do I have? There we go. You know, before they start saying, hey dog, they meant the Army dog, right? Dog, hey dog. Everybody's a dog in the Army, hey dog. But they do say, huh? How many sailors I got? Where's my Navy? There we are. You guys make sure the Marines didn't drown. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm grateful. You got us afloat. Hey, that's a lot of gear we gotta wear. All right, where's the Air Force? All right. I don't even hear. That's not enough. Come on, let's get some bass in there. We got some. Do I have any Coast Guard? No Coast Guard. I want the Coast Guard because they actually. Hey! Do you think that? Hey, young man over there. Sit there. I'm talking to you all. Against the wall. Hey! People don't think I can hear. Look, my mother is 98 years old. She can't hear. I'm not 98. I hear. All right. So we're going to call some cadence. How many Marines do I have? Oh, there we go. I didn't hear no hoorah. Thank you. Hoorah. There we go. Marines are motivated and we're loud. It's real simple with Marines. Be loud and you're going to be fine. Loud and funny. You got to be funny. You can't be a Marine if you're not funny. Nobody will want to talk to you. So the Marine Corps, when I was on active duty, was 6% women. 6%. I was a tractor-trailer operator. I hauled for the infantry and the wing units. So I definitely did not have a glamorous job. I wore camouflage every single... Oh! China!
Yes. Batteries.
You're a sergeant. Come on.
Hey!
That's it.
I'm not kidding! We don't talk! We're going to stand up now. We're going to do some cadence. Now, if I see motivation, then you're going to see motivation. I'm going to get it better. Yeah. sing dedication, then you're going to sing dedication. Now, if you were on active duty right now, we'd have to run and do all this. But since none of you wore your running shoes, we will not make you run. So, we're going to do motivation, dedication. You got that? Can you do that? Yeah. And if you're not loud enough, we do it again. It's that simple. All right, everybody stand up. I really wish I had my mic. I want you all to hear me. Okay, we're going to do this. There we go. Thank you. There we go. The power. Okay, so I'm going to sing the cadence. Then I'll do motivation. I'll point at you. You sing motivation. I'll sing dedication. You sing dedication. It's 2 words. We got it? Alright. Up in the morning with the rising sun. Gonna run all day till the running's done. Okay, you gotta clap. You gotta clap. Hold up, hold up, hold up. I'm watching people stand there looking at me. Here we go. We're gonna do it again. Clap. Up in the morning with the rising sun. Gonna run all day till the running's done. Now motivation. Dedication. Many people in this country feel that they have no hope. Many people feel that we're just underwater. How are we going to get out of this? Many people often think, who will come along? Who's going to make a difference? Well, I want to tell you a story. When Normandy happened, you know, D-Day, the Nazis woke up that morning and looked out over the bay. There were 7,000 vessels, 10,000 landing craft, and 138,000 Allied forces waiting to come give them some sand. And they were stunned. We have never seen that many naval vessels in one location ever in the history of the world, and let's pray we never have to again. 138,000 men, actually 150,000 Allied forces were participating that day. And they knew when they looked at those beaches how hard they were fortified, that the first wave of men would die. Think about that. The average age of a United States Marine today is only 21 years old. So the average age of many of those young boys, 18, 19, 20, 21. Very young. And of course there were 27-year-olds and 30-year-olds because everybody served. But that first wave, they asked the colonel of the 16th Infantry Regiment, what are you going to do if you die? And he went on to say, we will be followed by another regiment. And he went on to list every single regiment that would follow them. Each one coming again and again and again. Seeing their co-workers, seeing their brothers, seeing their fellow soldier on the ground dying. They didn't quit. They didn't quit. They defeated the Nazis, for goodness sake. Sometimes you do what you must do, or you will be taken over. Now you are a California Republican, you have no excuse. You don't have rounds coming down range at you. You don't have to go fight on a beach and watch your fellow Californian die. All you have to do is start fighting to win. On that day, there was a brother who was a medic. He was on one of those little vessels called a landing craft. 32 men were on that vessel. He had already been awarded 2 Purple Hearts in Africa, because as you know, World War II also was in Africa. 2 Purple Hearts already. He was on that vessel with his brother. Of the 32, only 6 survived. They were hit nonstop with rounds coming at them, arsenal, everything, you name it. And he woke up the next morning in some location to recover, not sure where he was, and he turned and looked, and there was his brother laying right beside him. You never quit, people. We don't quit. I can tell you story after story after story of those who fought for the freedom of this country and the allies that we have overseas. We defeated the Nazis that would have overcome and swept Europe. Why can't we still fight for California? Because we can. And we can fight for our great nation. We have no excuse. We have none. Because we are here. We are survivors. And listen to me when I say this. Nobody in this world has it easy. Every last person in this room has a story. And I'm going to share mine, but I guarantee there's people in this room that have the same story or even worse. When COVID hit, I had to come out to California from Washington, D.C. to start taking care of my parents. My mother had hurt her back. I'm the youngest of 5 children, and I stress that I'm the youngest of the 5 children, because she is now 98 years old. No joke. My father and mother were 95 when I came here. The COVID lockdowns hit. Long story short, my father became diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and he passed away last summer. I had to get the COVID boost shots in order to visit him. My world changed overnight. I was on the Trump campaign in 2020. I was the co-chair of Veterans for Trump. I was on the organizing committee with the Women for Trump. I was traveling all over this country for Trump to win. My world stopped, as everyone's did. There are people in this room that had somebody die during COVID, whether it was from COVID or from cancer, or who they could not even visit because they were shut down from even allowing visitors into many of these nursing homes. For the first few months of my father's care, I could not even visit him. When we showed up, he didn't remember who we were. He had remembered us just 3 months earlier. Every person in this room has a story. Every single person has struggled. I'm now a caretaker for a 98-year-old woman that I had to make sure I had dinner set up before I left the house. And she said, I hope you get there on time. And I'm thinking, I hope you don't fall while I'm gone. She worries about me and I worry about her. But 98, and I have found a bigger purpose. If there's anything about COVID, you don't know how strong you are till you gotta be strong. And nobody got sucked in the stomach harder than California. We have a radical governor that decided you could no longer go pray. We have a radical governor that said you could not congregate in a church. You could not worship God. He was so radical, if you went running on the beach, they would cite you. I'm going to go for a run and I'm going to get a citation for running on the beach. shut out of those schools. There is a young man in Margarita, California that killed himself because Gavin Newsom said that's all, they would not open the schools back up, and he was an athlete and he knew he would not be seen for his scholarships. There's another young man that was a quarterback in his high school. His parents had the wherewithal and ability to move. They moved to Georgia where he won the state championship for his high school, and he got his scholarship to Miami. And I don't know if it was Miami, Florida or Miami, Ohio. But he got a scholarship. But his parents had the ability to do that. Meanwhile, many people live in a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment with children, and they're trying to make sure their kids go to school on the internet. We have children now that are 2 years behind in school. We now have children that fell off the radar and were no longer in school, who never got a high school diploma because our governor decided that we had to be safe. So meanwhile, alcoholism, drug abuse, indebtedness, financial collapse, suicide, skyrockets. But hey, you're okay as long as you wear your mask. What kind of horse nonsense is that? Don't tell me about you're a conspiracy theorist about the vaccine when you know of people who have had heart attacks, who have also died after the vaccine. And when you look on the CDC website, they actually give the percentage that is insignificant. And I question, when you have so many hundreds of thousands of people die of COVID, and those that have died after the vaccine, you call it insignificant, 10% is still 10% more than never would have died had it not been for that. Don't tell me, thank goodness Kennedy's running on the Democrat side. God bless him. He's got those liberals' hair on fire. They introduce him as the conspiracy theorist. That tells me I need to pay attention. I do not like conspiracy when it's not based upon fact. I am not a fan of rumor. I lived in Washington, D.C. for 10 years. I know, hey, I hear you. Wherever you are, I hear you. Just let me know. I lived in D.C. in that swamp, and I know how it operates and how it thinks. Not everything is some wackadoodle conspiracy. Some of it's right under your nose. We saw that with the FBI covering up with that doggone dossier that the Hillary Clinton campaign funded, paid for, got in front of the FBI, and her own attorney, Michael Sussman, is that his name? Never was held accountable. The DC courts are all liberals, and the jury said, well, we don't think lying to the FBI is that big of a deal. Well, tell that to Martha Stewart. Because believe it or not, if the FBI knocks on your door, you say, I have nothing to say, give me your business card, and I'll have my attorney call you. They do not have to read you your rights. They're the only law enforcement agency that can do that. That's how they went after Michael Flynn, even though what he supposedly lied was not anything that even mattered, because he was the incoming national security director, and he had the authority to talk to the Russian ally. But he said he had it, so they got him for lying. It doesn't even make any sense. Doesn't even make any sense. We have J6 prisoners that have been rounded up and put on posters by the FBI. And you want to call it a conspiracy theorist? There's hundreds of people still in jail who have yet to see a trial. Not prison, jail.
Right.
And I'm talking about a nasty, disgusting jail. D.C. is not known for nice quarters for anybody who gets arrested in that city. It has been a movement of the left to ensure that we are afraid to speak, afraid to put a flag up in front of our house. I see more Ukrainian flags up now than I've ever seen. I'm like, where's your American flag?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? I was visiting my sister's home. She lives in Lincoln. Do you have Lincoln in the house? That's a Republican area, but you're getting infiltrated. My sister lives there. Just letting you know, she's a Democrat. Woo! We can't talk. No. How's mother? Fine. Is she eating okay? Yes. What are you going to do this weekend? You know I know. Her husband tried to egg me on. He's a real liberal. Real liberal. I mean, real liberal. Or lefty, I should say. And they're in their 70s. I stress, I am the youngest. I have to stress this. I make that point very clear. I had one of my other sisters in the audience once, and I think she was like, you don't have to keep saying that. But they're old enough to be my mother. So my brother-in-law tries to egg me on one day. And I was in the house and he played stupid that I'm a Newsmax contributor. He's like, oh, you go on TV, what'd you talk about today? And I'm thinking, you know damn well I go on TV, but we'll go ahead and play this game. And I said to him, he asked, and I said, well, it was the Kanye West meeting at this time. It was Kanye West went down to Mar-a-Lago and met with Trump, and the left's hair was on fire because he brought that Fuentes guy, who none of us know, who's supposedly a white extremist, hanging out with Kanye West. Okay, whatever. So he's telling me, well, why would he invite Kanye West anyway? And I said, world leaders meet with many controversial people. I said, in 6 months, this won't even matter. Like, you're trying to make an argument over Kanye West? Really, I wanted to say to him, have you ever even heard a Kanye West song? Do you even know who Kanye West is? Because, you know, if you haven't heard She's a Gold Digger, you do not know Kanye West. I love that song. He wrote it about Kim long before Kim was in his life. She's a gold digger. She's so good me. I kept saying, I'm losing my voice already because I yell at you all. So this is what I deal with. And I drove around their neighborhood and I'm seeing these Ukrainian flags. And I thought, where are the American flags? And within blocks, I started to see American flags. And I thought, oh, this is a mixed community. A mixed community now means you've got Democrats and Republicans living together. Well, our house in Sacramento has a United States Marine Corps flag flying. We have an American flag flying. And my neighbor to the right has a My Body, My Choice sign up after Roe v. Wade got overturned. And the neighbor to the left has the Love is Love. And everybody, you know, for Transgender Day rights and all that. And I'm like, man, we are in an island here. So like one of our famous Marines said, we're surrounded. It should be easy to get them now. And that is Austin, California. Jessie Jane, he's the most highly decorated Marine. And when they were in Korea, they were surrounded by 800,000 Chinese. And there were only several thousand, 6,000, 7,000 Marines. Look them up, the Frozen Chosen. These are the men that had to have the supply lines, the admins, get in vehicles to get them through this little tiny passageway to evacuate because they were surrounded by the Chinese. And you know what? They killed over 50,000 of those Chinese. In fact, the leader of China, they killed his own son. Those Marines put a mark. Oh yes, many Marines died too. But the impact they put on those Chinese, they knew those Marines will never, ever surrender. And they escaped, and many of them lived to tell the story. But when you tell me I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore, screw it, I'm moving. What did the men on D-Day do? You don't have to want to do this, you need to do this. This is what God wants us to do. He does not pick perfect people. He perfects those he picks. Never say, I am not good enough. Never say, you have nothing to offer. Never tell me you're tired. Take some vitamins for goodness sake. Each person who took the time to show up here tonight has something in him or her that can bring, or if you don't know if you're him or her, somebody will help you. You can do something. I don't care if you're a great photographer, help a candidate's website. If you're a public speaker, you get out there and you rally up people. If you can get signatures, you do that. Because if you want to fix California, it's up to us. You do dirty, you better learn how to play by their rules.
Right! Right!
If you're going to get into a boxing match and you want to fight clean, then you're going to be defeated.
Right.
You better learn how to fight back. I don't want to hear people tell me how hard they got hit in 2020, and I don't want to hear about 2022. You already knew mail-in ballots were a thing. You better start getting people to fill them out. If you want to go tell people to stand in a line for 2 hours while the machines collapse, that's on you. Because that's what Republicans were saying. Oh, don't trust the mail. Everything's rigged. If you keep telling people it's rigged, they're not gonna vote. If that's the case, then how come we have 12 congressmen from California in Congress right now? If everything's rigged, Kevin Cowley should have had his lunch handed to him and lost. Garcia should have lost. Michelle, what's her last name?
Steele!
Oh my God, she's amazing. They are, shit, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that's the way to be coming out. I beg your forgiveness, I'm so sorry. Stop the video, stop the video. Kevin McCarthy, the speaker, is from California. For goodness sake. You got 10, I was going to say, we got 10 minutes, so we got to hurry. All right, so Kevin McCarthy is the Speaker of the House, and he's from California. Do not tell me we cannot win. Oh, I know that. I met Kevin McCarthy when he was first in Congress, and he talked about how he won the lotto. Then he was able to run for Congress, and I was like, yeah, pretty cool. I got to go win the lotto. I don't know that I'll run for Congress, though. My point is, if we keep laying down, they're going to run over us. Figure out what they're doing, and we got to do it better. That's how we win. We got these mail-in ballots. We got to audit every single city. We got to audit every single state. We got to audit our election rules. I'll tell you who's doing that judicial watch. They just sued Los Angeles County. How many people did they find that didn't belong in those voting rolls? 1.4 million. That's incredible. Let me tell you something about Donald Trump. When he told, oh thank you, I'm glad you like it. Donald Trump holds no punches back. So if you want to get in a fight, you got to know how to fight. When he called the Secretary of State in Georgia, and he said, find me those votes, what he didn't understand and what the media won't report, they already have the list of all of the fraudulent votes. Cleta Mitchell's a friend of mine. She was his attorney. I'm going to give you a website, who'scounting.us. That's Cleta Mitchell. She was his attorney at a major law firm in Washington, D.C. When they exposed her name, she got run out of town. She resigned from the law firm because they had 1,000 phone calls in a day to get her out. She said, that's fine. I will fix these elections myself. She has a podcast, and she'll tell this story. They had a list of like 130,000 names of people that didn't even have an address, and it's Georgia law that you have an address, like a vacant lot, or they had a cafeteria. That's what Donald Trump was saying. Find me the votes. He wasn't saying go make votes. He was saying we. And they had at least 20 folders of fraudulently registered people. And the Secretary of State kept saying there's nothing there. Oh, we already looked at that. Well, Georgia got it together and cleaned up their voter rosters and pissed off the baseball league, and they moved the All-Star game to Denver because they felt that the new voting ID laws would discriminate against minorities. So, let me get this straight. An African-American city now is going to lose all the revenue from All-Star Week, and you're going to move to Denver, where there's less than an 18% African-American, I think it's less than 5% African-American population.
Right.
Good job, Democrats.
Right.
Good job, Democrats. You keep telling us how racist we are while you are racist. While you take racist action. You insult minorities and poor people when you say they can't get an ID. Trust me, when I go to that liquor store, everybody got an ID. I'm just happy they still ask. When I'm at Safeway, they're like, how old are you? What's your birthday? And I'm like, really? Come on, are we playing this game still? Okay. Alright, my point is, you think about what happened at Normandy. How many young men died that day? So you have no excuse, you don't quit. You give something, you do something, you volunteer, you motivate people. You know what makes a good leader? Someone who can motivate and inspire people to do things they would not normally do. Or they're also called mom. She can get her husband to put on a suit, get the kids to take a bath, and all of that before they head to church at 9 o'clock. That's what it takes. You got to motivate and inspire people. If they do not get engaged, and if your message is so bad that you can't convince people why you're a conservative, then stop talking. Because our message is not that hard. We don't want to kill the unborn. We want to defend ourselves because the doggone smash and grab is left and right. We want to be able to have a business without being taxed to death. And we want to support our law enforcement. We don't have that hard of a message, people.
That's right. It's not a puzzle.
This is the greatest country in the world. And if we lose this freedom, it's not one generation away anymore, like Ronald Reagan said. It is one election away. We got to expose that Biden crime family and let slick-haired Billy run for president because he will not get elected. Get him out of California. Let that doggone Newsom run. Now, I have one last thing to do before they're going to hook me off this stage. You're going to have to stand again because we're going to sing. Stand up. All right, and I don't want to see anybody moaning and groaning either. No moaning and groaning because we are motivated. We are dedicated. And join in with me. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean.